Hello, my name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday, June 1st, 2026, and in this episode I want to share my handwerk which is a Dutch word for my creative adventures from this week with you. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I also make episodes in Dutch, which you can watch with subtitles if you want to. If you miss a subtitle in a specific language, please let me know and I will check if I can add it afterwards. Hello! Today it is Wednesday, May 27, I guess. I'm a little bit confused, it is almost June, time's flying. We have a very hot week in the Netherlands. I'm not made for this weather. But I don't want to complain too much. I decided let's knit as much as possible. So I try to skip all the things which make me overheated and use all the time for knitting. And I am doing a test knit, so that's working out pretty good, and I want to show you a little bit about the test knit. I was not in the mood for filming because I feel overheated at the moment, but I wanted to show you the process as I'm going, and I'm going pretty fast right now. So I am knitting the wildflower top. It is a test knit for Ronja Hakalehto, a Finnish knitting designer. Because it's a test knit, the pattern is not available yet, but I don't think you need to wait for it very long. The test knit runs until June 10, I guess, so I expect the pattern will be released somewhere in June, maybe beginning of July. And the moment I saw Ronja's post on Instagram, I knew I wanted it. She has another one, I want even more, a brown little vest, sleeveless. But that's not, she's working on the pattern still. But this one I loved as well. I never knitted a pattern by Ronja. I bought her book quite recently, but I didn't knit anything out of it yet. I really love her style, and this is a combination of knitting and cables, and yeah, it's just a knitting, a combination of lace and cables, and I really love knitting lace and cables. It's a top-down top, so you start at the back, and when you have finished the back, you pick up stitches for the left front and then for the right front, and then you connect them right here. It is quite a high neckline. I'm pretty sure I prefer it to be lower. It is quite easy to make it lower because you just cast on extra stitches, 1 or 2 pattern repeats later, but because I'm knitting a test knit, I decided to follow the pattern, and also my skin right here is quite sun-kissed over the years, and I think it will be a good thing to protect it a little bit. So I thought, let's try how I will feel with a higher neckline, with a summer top with a higher neckline. I don't know yet. When I was knitting, it looked pretty small. Oh, I forgot to bring my swatch. It's downstairs. I swatched. I'm not a swatcher, but because I'm doing a test knit, I swatched. I got gauge after blocking, as it was meant to be. I am knitting 1 needle smaller than Ronja is recommending. I always go down 1 needle size. I'm a loose knitter. But when I was knitting the back panel, I thought it looks so small, it looks so narrow, and also my swatch is way more wider. I'm knitting with Drops Belle. I made more tops with Drops Belle, and all of them, I made 2. Let me grab them. The first top I knitted with drops Belle is the Thea top. It's a pattern from Susanne Müller, a German knitting designer. I love the basicness of this top. I added garter ridges myself, but somehow it's not really wearing nice. I think I haven't found the right color combination for it. It's a very special pink shade of pink, and it's not combining with the skirts I have, although I made a new one and I think they are going well, but I didn't wear it yet. It's also a little bit oversized. I prefer the fitted ones. I feel better in those. And last year I made the Sundae Swirl top. It's a pattern by Jessie Maed Designs, and it is also a combination of cables and lace. I love it. I love knitting cables and lace. It is not hard and not boring. Something's happening all the time, so I really love it. And I love this top as well. It also has a higher neckline, which actually feels pretty good. The only thing is the body is quite wide. So apparently the drops Belle is growing when I am knitting it into summer tops. So I had mixed feelings about this one. A part of me was really worried it would be too small, and another part of me told me, don't worry, it will grow. So now I'm at the point I can fit it. So let's go. When I fit my garments, I prefer to change one of my interchangeable needle points for a longer cable. I know you have all the tools and all the different cables, but this works best for me. I prefer to knit with the red cables, which come with your metal needle tips, but you also have those lighter cables, and they came with my bamboo interchangeable set. I don't really like them for knitting, but I do really like them for connecting because you can twist this part. So now I have a longer cable, which gives me the space to fit in it without dropping stitches. I changed my knitted top for just a plain black one, a store-bought one with some very narrow strands, which we call spaghetti strands in the Netherlands. I think the top will be wearable with nothing under it as well, but I feel more comfortable on camera with an extra layer, so let's check. Sarah is a happy knitter. It's so interesting. I was worried the armholes would be too narrow. They are so big, and that's not a problem because I need to pick up stitches and knit some ribbing, so it will be okay. But I thought it would be so high, too close to my armpit, but it's not even close. So that's very nice. I love the fit. I think there will be a little bit more drape after blocking. I am knitting size 3, which gives a bust circumference of 95 centimeter, which means 5 centimeter of positive ease for me. I don't know exactly what the recommended positive ease is. I thought it would be way too narrow, but it's not. I think I like it. I love the neckline this way. It will come closer as well. Maybe I can pick up enough stitches to leave it a little bit open. Yeah, we shall see, but I really love the pattern. I'm a little bit afraid that I will discover a mistake, but I think we are good. The cable and lace pattern at the front and at the back are the same, and there's some stockinette right here. And I love that balance in a knitting project because in the beginning I needed to pay attention to the chart all the time, and now I can do it by head. I have added one stitch marker right here. This is the beginning of round, and right here is one stitch marker, which is telling me which row of the chart I am knitting. So yeah, it is a fun and easy and relaxing knit. Normally I start with the ribbing after finishing my yarn ball, but I just attached a new one when I don't know if I already was sewing knitting in the round. I think I was, but there was not enough fabric to pick up the stitches already. But I think I will keep knitting. Yeah. Happy Sarah!
Hello. It is Saturday morning and I am actually doing something really far out of my comfort zone. I am sitting in the garden filming a little bit for my English episode. And the reason why I feel so uncomfortable is because there are a lot of people who might hear me talking. My girls are inside. Also, we have very small gardens. Our house is part of a lot of houses in a row, and our gardens are very small and all connected. There's only a little piece. I don't know how you call that in English, but in Dutch we call it een schutting. This little wooden part is the border between our garden and our neighbor's garden. The reason why I am filming this way, anyway, I'm also using a mic. I never do that with a reason. But the reason why I am practicing this right now is because I really want to get used to filming more on location, filming more, being surrounded by other people, feel more comfortable by that. I think there are two main reasons which makes me motivated to practice this. The first reason is that I really love to have some versatile footage. I mainly film at home on some fixed spots, and although I was very happy about that for quite a while, I'm ready to explore other settings. And the other reason is that I want to be myself fearless. I always feel a bit ashamed for what I'm doing, and I don't want to feel ashamed for doing something I love to do. I also feel very much inspired by a new to me podcast I discovered. A lovely other Dutch knitter, which I met in the yarn store, suggested it to me. She told me she enjoyed the episodes of Sophie Knits Daily and her boyfriend Wilson so much. They also have a YouTube channel together, which is called We Knit Daily. I must confess, I don't watch much other knitting podcasts at the moment, but I was curious anyway, so I searched for them, and it was the perfect thing to do during this warm week. So I watched a few episodes, and I really loved it as well. It is always interesting when you are a knitting podcast maker yourself. You are not only watching the knitting and the lovely podcast, but you are also noticing other aspects of podcasting. And I love it when I feel inspired by other knitting podcasters. So one of the things which I really liked actually was the mic. And that was interesting because I don't like to use my own mics. I think it's a weird thing. Although it looks cute with this fuzzy thing on it, but I don't like holding a mic. I also don't like clipping it onto my knitted garments. So I try to avoid using the mic as much as possible. But especially when you are filming outside, it is an accessory which you can't really miss. And there's something interesting about it because by holding the mic, I feel more comfortable filming this way. So I think it helps me. I am still not sure if I will use this footage. I am practicing. I am sitting and knitting in the garden. It's Saturday morning, quite early, I think, something about around 9:30. I am still sitting in the shadow. Within a little bit of time, the sun will catch this spot and I need to put down the sunscreen because otherwise it will be way too warm. But I am really enjoying the cool morning. I had my morning coffee and some quiet knitting time. I am working on my test knit, the Wildflower Top by Ronja Hakalehto. I shared more about this knitting project earlier in this episode. It really was my hyper-focus project this week. It matched perfect with the weather. I don't like knitting or crocheting with woolly yarns when it's very warm. My hands got sweaty, and the feeling of sweaty, warm hands and rustic yarn is really annoying me. And I am knitting with Drops Belle right now, and that feels actually much better in my hands. I think it gives me a little bit of a cool feeling, and I really need cooling down these days. So it was a lovely project to work on. I only need to finish the body part and the ribbing. I actually have no idea how far I am right now, so I will measure. I hoped to finish it today, but I don't think I will. I have an empty day, no appointments today, but a lot of tasks in the house to do. We get a new fridge. I'm actually quite excited about that. Reorganizing my fridge, put all the things in a new one, with a freezer in the kitchen. We haven't had a freezer in the kitchen for quite some years, so it feels very luxury. Also in the house, a lot of things need to be done. Because of the warm weather, I didn't do as much as I normally do in the house, and that's okay, that's not a problem, but I really love it when my house is a little bit clean and organized, mainly organized. I can enjoy my knitting time more when I have an organized house. Also, a lot of laundry need to be done today. And because of that, I actually like the hot, sunny weather because it will be dry in a minute. No, not in a minute, but very quickly. So I will alternate my tasks in the house with some knitting every now and then. It always works pretty good for me to knit a few rounds and then do some tasks and come back to my knitting all day long. I feel very balanced when I do it that way. Last but not least, a little bit about what I'm wearing. I'm actually wearing my Chanterelle pants. It is my first and only self-made pair of pants. I really loved wearing it. It's actually my hiking pants. I love to use it for hiking. I am wearing it quite often, especially during the early mornings. I changed a little bit of my morning routine. Normally, I started with taking a shower immediately after waking up. But since a few weeks, I am going outside for a little walk or even a little run. I surprise myself very much with that. And then I do that in this Chanterelle pants. A few hours later, I will change. I will put on one of my dresses or skirts. But today, I decided I wanted to wear it all day. I love the Chanterelle pants. I really love it. The only thing is, I made it out of very cheap linen viscose. I don't know if you can see it. It's a cheap fabric. And I did that on purpose because I didn't want to invest too much money in fabric. When I would work with very expensive fabric, I think I wouldn't have enough courage to try things. So it really helped me to practice a little bit with cheaper fabrics. But I won't do that anymore. I have practiced enough. I think I had the same experience as a crocheter and a knitter. I started with really cheap yarn and it worked fine for me. But in the end, working with good yarn is doing half of the job, maybe. Working with good materials, good yarn, good needles, and it's the same with sewing. Sewing with good quality fabric is really improving the end result of your sewing project. I'm also wearing my Maed top. It's one of my favorite summer tops. It's a pattern by CD Spins. That's not the name of the designer. It's on the tip of my tongue. Asita Krebs, a Swiss knitting designer, and I knitted it in Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. It is actually my one and only experience with knitting with silk. I really love it. I must confess it looks a little bit messy and wonky. The silk is not as forgivable as woolly yarns. And because I'm a loose knitter, I'm always a little bit sensitive for dancing stitches. But the rough look of the stitches matches also the yarn, so it's okay. This pattern was really fun to knit. It's a top-down pattern and you have a lace panel in front and rib stitch all over. There is not a lace panel at the back. I think it's really nice when you have rounds of knitting with a little bit of lace and a lot of relaxing rib stitch. It makes it a very balanced knitting project. I love those kind of knitting projects. This is actually also such a project. I'm a little bit experimenting with how to wear this top at the moment. Actually, all my summer tops, I always used to wear a tank top with spaghetti strands under it. But because I get overheated so quickly, I am experimenting this week with skipping those tank tops. It's a bit confusing because it feels really nice, but it also feels really revealing. So one of the reasons I'm not sure if I will use this footage is because I have no idea how it will look on camera. I'm only wearing a bra under it, and because the lace panel is in front, it is really open and airy. So I will definitely wear it this way when I'm at home, and it feels so good. The silk, knitted silk fabric on my skin, but also the open lace part. It actually is really airy, and I enjoy that a lot. I need that actually a lot, but I don't know if I feel comfortable showing up on camera or showing up with other people. Okay, this was it for now. I will start with watering my plants because they need some water with this weather as well. Okay, this was it for this week. If you want to see more of me, please check my Dutch episode. You can watch it with subtitles if you want to. If you are missing subtitles in a specific language, please let me know and I will check if I can add them. I also offer memberships on YouTube. one in Dutch, which is called Handwerkgeluk, and one in English, which is called HeartJumping Friday. When you are a HeartJumping Friday member, you have access to weekly HeartJumping Friday episodes in which I answer all your questions about your own knitting or crochet projects, or maybe about mine or knitting or crochet in general. It's always lovely to receive those questions, very inspiring. I show knitting spots of other HeartJumping Friday members, which they share with me. And there's also room for a little chat. So if you are interested in weekly extra episodes, it might be interesting for you. I try to keep the prices as low as possible, so it will be accessible as possible for as much as possible knitters and crocheters. So if it sounds as something you might be interested in, you are more than welcome. Okay, I wish you a wonderful week filled with a lot of HeartJumping moments. If you can't find them, create them because we need them. Bye bye.